Hey everybody, welcome to the SMA Journey 51 vlog. Okay, in this week's video, I'm going to be reviewing another pharmaceutical company that has an active, ongoing clinical trial for the treatment of SMA. Over the last month, I've reviewed 4 other pharmaceutical companies and their ongoing clinical trials. But this will probably be the last review that I do for quite a while. While there are other pharmaceutical companies that are actively working toward a treatment for SMA, until they move their treatments into the clinical trial status, there's really no need to review them at this time. But when they do take their treatments and move them into the clinical trial status, I'll make sure that I review them and I'll pass this information along to you. So go ahead and watch the PowerPoint presentation that I did, and I'll be back in just a moment to give you a few final thoughts. Okay, so in today's PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to be introducing everybody to Cytokinetics Pharmaceuticals. And all of the information that I give you in this presentation, including the links, can be found not only in the description field of the video that you're watching, but they can also be found on my website. In this first slide, I copied everything verbatim from Wikipedia. Cytokinetics Incorporated is a publicly traded biopharmaceutical company based in South San Francisco, California, that develops muscle activators as potential treatments for people with diseases that are characterized by impaired or declining muscle function. In collaboration with Astellas, Cytokinetics is also developing their treatment, known as CK2127107. Now, as a side note, instead of referring to this long string number throughout the entirety of this presentation, I'm just going to refer to it as their treatment. Their treatment is a next-generation fast skeletal muscle troponin activator, or what they call an FSTA. Their treatment has been granted orphan drug designation by the FDA for the potential treatment of SMA. It is currently being studied in 3 phase 2 clinical trials, one in SMA, one in chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, otherwise known as COPD, and one in ALS, as well as a phase 1B clinical trial in elderly adults with limited mobility. Astellas holds an exclusive license for the development and commercialization of their treatment worldwide. Now, the information that I'm going to share in the next 4 slides was copied verbatim from the Cure SMA website, and they go on to discuss the article that was published by Cure SMA back on January the 4th of 2016. It refers to Cytokinetics' open enrollment for their phase 2 trial. Cytokinetics has opened enrollment for a phase 2 study testing their treatment in teens and adults with SMA, type 2, 3, or 4. We are excited to see the continued progress of this drug into the next phase of clinical trials, and particularly excited to see this trial focused on teens and adults. This latest trial announcement speaks to 2 of Cure SMA's primary goals: pursuing a breadth of treatment options and ensuring we have treatments for all types, all ages, and all stages of SMA. The clinical trial is designed to assess the effect of their treatment on multiple measures of muscle function in both ambulatory and non-ambulatory patients with SMA, a severe genetic neuromuscular disease that leads to debilitating muscle function and progressive, often fatal muscle weakness. In collaboration with Astellas, Cytokinetics is developing their treatment as a potential treatment for people living with SMA and certain other debilitating neuromuscular and non-neuromuscular diseases and conditions that are associated with skeletal muscle weakness and/or fatigue. The primary objective of this double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical trial is to determine the potential pharmacodynamic effects of a suspension formulation of their treatment following multiple oral doses in patients with type 2, type 3, or type 4 SMA. Secondary objectives are to evaluate the safety, tolerability, and pharmacokinetics of their treatment. The trial will enroll 72 patients in 2 sequential ascending dose cohorts, 2 cohorts of 36 patients each, half of them being ambulatory and half of them being non-ambulatory. Each cohort will be stratified by ambulatory versus non-ambulatory status to receive this treatment, which will be dosed twice daily for a total of 8 weeks. I go on to quote, "Initiating this first Phase 2 trial of our treatment represents a major step forward given our interest to serve the many adolescents and adults who are living with SMA, a disorder with few treatment options." End quote. This was said by Robert I. Blum, which is Cytokinetics' President and Chief Executive Officer. He goes on to state, and I quote, "We look forward to working closely with the investigators and clinical trial sites to evaluate the effects of our next generation skeletal muscle activator, which we believe holds promise for the potential treatment of patients battling this devastating disease." End quote. Now, the next slide that you're seeing, I copied verbatim from the clinicaltrials.gov website, and it goes on to talk about Cytokinetics and Astellas' ongoing clinical trial. Their trial will be known as a study of CK212-7107 in patients with spinal muscular atrophy. The primary objective of this study is to demonstrate a pharmacodynamic effect of this treatment on measures of skeletal muscle function or fatigability in patients with SMA types 2, 3, and 4. This is the first study being conducted in these patients and is designed to assess the effect of 8 weeks of dosing of their treatment on measures of muscle function in both ambulatory and non-ambulatory patients with SMA. The plasma concentrations of this treatment will be measured at selected time points during the course of dosing, and the plasma concentrations that are obtained in this study may be used to conduct exposure response analysis. The trial identifier for this clinical trial is listed, and I'm circling it now, and the estimated enrollment will be 72 participants. The actual study start date was December of 2015, and the estimated primary completion date and the estimated study completion date are both February of 2018. The ages that are eligible for this study are 12 years and older, which will include children, adults, and seniors. Just as a reminder, don't forget to check out my website. If you go to my website and click on the drop-down option that says Pharmaceutical Companies, you'll see a list of all of the pharmaceuticals that I've been reviewing over the last month. And by the time you watch this video on Sunday, I will have added Cytokinetics information. So all of the information regarding these companies, along with all of the information that I show you in the PowerPoint slides, can be found in this section of my website. One other reminder, if you have any questions, whether it be over the videos or just a general overall question, either send it to me below the video itself or send me an email, and I'll make sure that I respond to each and every one. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation and the information that I shared with you. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. God bless you. And until next Sunday, bye-bye.